What if I told you that Real Broker has a feature built right into their model that could keep paying you even after you stop selling real estate? Not a retirement fund that you contribute to, not an RRSP. I'm talking about the brokerage literally continuing to pay you income after you're done producing. And the crazy part is barely anyone in the real estate industry is talking about this or offers this at other brokerages. It is called Real Retirement. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how it works, who qualifies, and why this changes the conversation around what your brokerage is actually worth to you long term. I'm Josh with Real Estate Agent Success. This channel is designed to help agents make smarter brokerage decisions. If you're new here, please do hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of these videos. All right, let's jump in. The reality of being in this industry and a traditional real estate career is you earn when you sell. You don't sell, you don't earn, full stop. The moment you slow down, whether that's by choice, whether that's, family occurrences, health, something happens, or age, the income stops. There's no residual, no passive income stream. You've spent years building relationships and closing deals, and the day you step back, the brokerage keeps the structure you helped build, and you walk away with nothing ongoing forward. That's the traditional brokerage model. And for a long time, it was just accepted. Well, that's the way it works. You're not working anymore. You don't get any more money. But Real Broker was built and constructed differently. One of the foundational pillars of the Real model is revenue share, where you earn a portion of the commission income generated by agents that you've sponsored and helped come into the company. You've helped the company grow, and the company rewards you for doing this. And of course, I've covered this in many other videos on the channel here. Feel free to scroll through once you're done this one. But today I want to talk about what happens to that revenue share when you eventually step back and stop selling. Because that's where real retirement comes in. And it's genuinely one of the most compelling features of this brokerage. So what exactly is real retirement? In simple terms, real retirement allows you to continue earning that revenue share even after you're no longer producing. You stop selling, you stop closing deals, you stop generating commission income for the brokerage, and you can still receive revenue share payments from the network of agents that you built, you helped the company grow over the course of your career. Now, this doesn't just happen automatically or overnight. There are two conditions that you need to meet. Condition one is you must have been producing at Real for at least 5 full consecutive years. No gaps or breaks in production status. 5 years. Condition two is you don't have to be selling, but your license needs to stay active with Real. If you ever leave Real for any reason and joined another brokerage, you would lose this eligibility. So a question that tends to come up a lot is, when does that 5-year clock actually start? And this is a nuance that can trip people up. The clock doesn't start the day you signed your ICA and joined Real. It starts the day you became a producing agent at Real with your first sale. And this nuance can trip people up. The clock doesn't start the day you signed your ICA, which is what many people kind of think, the day you joined Real. It actually starts the day you first become producing at Real. And here's what that means. To be considered a producing agent in Canada, you need to contribute at least $650 in splits to Real within any rolling 6-month period. So if you joined Real, but take a few months, didn't do any deals to close your first deal, that production clock doesn't start until you hit that threshold. Once you've basically sent in $650 in cap to Real, okay, you're a producing agent. So just as an example, and this comes from Real's FAQ section, let's say you joined Real February 1st and you first became producing April 5th of that year. Your 5-year clock would start on April 5th of that year, not that February 1st date. So you'd be eligible for Real retirement on April 5th of 5 years later. And it's important too that those years need to be consecutive. If you go non-producing at any point during that window, if you take a year off, the clock resets. So staying active and keeping your production status matters, not just for revenue share today, but for your eligibility down the road. Now, for everyone who's newer to Real Broker in the model, let me just give you a quick version of how revenue share works, because you need to understand it to appreciate what real retirement means. It's really hand in hand and involved. So when you sponsor another agent to join Real, meaning you're the person who most influenced their decision to join the brokerage, and you're listed in their ICA, you earn up to 5% of the revenue that agent generates for Real on their transactions. So there's always that 85-15 split, right, until the agent caps. So that 15% that goes to Real, up to 5% actually can come to you as the sponsoring agent. Real gives it back to you for helping to grow the business. So for context, in Canada, if an agent you sponsor and help come into the company closes enough deals to hit their cap of $15,000 Canadian, you can earn up to $4,000 Canadian from that one agent alone. So tier 1 agents that you directly bring in, it's 5%. Tier 2, so that's agents that they bring into the company, you're eligible for up to 4%. Tier 3, it's 3%, all the way down to tier 5 at 1%. So imagine you've spent 5 or 10 years with Real. You've sponsored a dozen agents. Some of them have sponsored agents of their own, and you've built up a revenue share network. That network is generating passive, ongoing income for you while you are actively selling currently. Now imagine you decide to slow down. Maybe you're winding down your career. Maybe you want to spend more time with your family. Maybe you just want to take a step back out of the grind of active sales. Real retirement means that that network doesn't turn off. The income continues. And this kind of dovetails into another subject that's quite interesting, something called willable revenue share. If you've been with Real at least 3 full calendar years, you can actually designate a beneficiary for your revenue share. That means in the event of your passing, your revenue share payments can continue to be paid to someone you've named, a spouse, a family member, as outlined in the willable revenue share addendum. So think about what that means. This isn't just a passive income for your retirement. It's an income stream that can potentially be passed on to people who care about you, people that you love. No other brokerage that I'm aware of in Canada offers anything like this. Now, the specific rules around who can be named as a beneficiary can vary, and Real does recommend you consult with a lawyer or attorney on this, but the feature exists. It's accessible through your Reason account, and it's worth understanding as part of your long-term financial planning as a real estate professional. I think that most real estate agents spend very little time actually thinking about what their career looks like in 10 or 15 years from now. We're all so busy and caught up in the moment and just trying to get through the deals that we're transacting right now. We're focusing on the next deal that we have to get through, the next client, the next month's income, and it's hard to zoom out. So the brokerage you choose then is actually one of the biggest long-term financial decisions you make as an agent, not just because of what you can keep at the end of every single deal, but because of what you're building towards, what you're building for your future. Real retirement really reframes what your brokerage can be for your future. It means that every single agent you sponsor, every relationship you build, every person you help succeed at Real, that's not just good for them, it's also building an income stream that could follow you into your retirement and beyond. That's fundamentally a different way to think about your career. So to recap, Real Retirement lets you keep earning revenue share after you stop producing, as long as you've been producing at Real for 5 consecutive years. The clock starts from the first production date, not your join date. And with willable revenue share, that income stream can potentially carry on to your beneficiaries after 3 years with the company. If you want to dig deeper into how revenue share works, how the tiers are structured, what you realistically can earn, I've got a video on that too. Check my playlist below and you'll see lots of content on what revenue share actually looks like. And if you're still weighing out whether Real Broker Canada is the right fit for you, reach out. I'm happy to chat you through it. There's a link below you can click where we can set up a time to chat.